It's a mean age. But it is gonna be a beautiful future as long as we don't fuck it up. I'm Brian McWilliams, and this is Mean Age Daydream, where I bring you unfiltered comedy, criticism, philosophy, and politics with a Mean Age Daydream. What's up, guys? Happy Halloween, Rico. Look at that. Excited to be on the program as always.
Oh, I had a prop, but I lost it.
And now we can't see you. It's perfect. Yeah. So, our legal counsel is here, old gambling Rico. And, of course, my Lions of Liberty compatriot, John Odermatt, host of Finding Freedom, is also joining us on this epic 2022 Halloween live stream. Of course, some of you will hear it. What are you counting down?
I'm infatuated with my blurry hand. I'm blurring my background. It's like, but only part of my background is blurred. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, we're doing a little live stream of the show today. And of course, most of you are just going to be listening on the pod anyway. But it's definitely intriguing. I was going to write a spooky Halloween story, but one just came out in the mainstream media. So might as well just talk about that anyway, which is
I found my prop. You don't want to get to my prop first?
Is it a hammer? Do you have a hammer?
Yes,
is that your prop?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you got my card.
I was like, why the fuck do I have a letter from Brian McWilliams? What could this possibly be? It's a fucking Halloween card.
Yeah, that's right. I sent you a
Why did you send me a Halloween card?
I was at the Target, and they had Halloween cards for $1.
The Target. That's the proper way to say
Target.
It. At the Target.
It's the only Target in town. No, I was at a Target, and they had these Halloween cards for like $1. So I was like, all right, I'll get one for Rico. And I saw that one, and it cracked me up because I'm trying to figure out if they're trying to make it sound like the dog wrote the card, or if it's just a Chinese person wrote the card. Because it reads the card.
Weird. Wow, so vamp, much scare. Like, what?
It's like
such pumpkin, very Halloween on the inside.
Like, what the fuck? That's the other news I had to send. I was like, this card's too good not to send to somebody.
I did shake it. I'm like, is there money in here? But no.
You know, the post office doesn't allow cards with money to get sent to anybody. They immediately
back there,
take that
out. Smell cash.
No. Yeah. But yeah, so we've got our Halloween show. And we've got our Halloween story, which, of course, is that there's the underpants hammer attack at the Pelosi household, which, you know, if people out there, I'm assuming everybody knows this story at this point. But to recap, in San Francisco, which is where Nancy and noted drunk and rumored closeted gay man married to Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi, live up in the Berkeley region.
Hold on. Was he rumored to be closeted gay before this story?
That supposedly that's been a long time rumor, but again, you know, there's no way to say if it's true or not unless you have had sex with him.
I never heard that.
I never heard that rumor before. But,
I hadn't heard it before this, but in reading some of these comments, people said, "Well, it's kind of like a regional knowledge thing, right?" So again, I don't know if this is true or not, but it is odd. So a madman who is notably a nudist and part of a group which is maybe not male prostitute nudists based in San Francisco, but an outward nudist, was a long time, you know, lefty, super crunchy guy, like member of a commune type shit up in the Berkeley region, and has, as of late, started posting more conservative stuff on his Facebook feed, stuff about hating the Jews. And no, it's not Kanye West.
Is that conservative? Like conservatives
apparently,
the Jews.
Apparently,
like,
that's
what?
mainstream conservatism, according to the left.
I know, right?
I wasn't aware of that either.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the way they're reporting it.
Those fucking Republicans, they hate immigration, they hate abortions, they hate the Jews.
Yeah,
in that order.
It does suck. This story came out, by the way. Like, I went to a Halloween party on Saturday night at the Greatest, good time, and it's sad that this story came out so late because it would have been the easiest costume just to throw on some underpants and carry a hammer around for Halloween. But
wanted. Pass out
it's the
wanted
same
posters with your picture.
Right.
It's the same costume as Hunter Biden, except you change out the crack pipe for
Right.
the hammer. So, just a minor.
Yeah, if you went as Hunter Biden in 2021,
Right.
God, are you lucky?
You can save so much money on costumes. So anyway, this guy, and I gotta pull his name up here. David DePape or DePap, 42-year-old white dude. He has broken into their house in like, I don't know, the middle of the night, and apparently came in there, bypassed security, right? The Speaker of the House doesn't have any security, fine. Bypassed the security, goes in the house, gets in, and then is wandering around. There's another guy in the house. We still don't know who that third person is. I guess Nancy Pelosi's not home. He's somehow going, where's Nancy? Ends up getting in.
Are we sure? Are we sure there was another guy in the house? Because I've seen that reported.
Yes.
I thought the police now said there wasn't.
The police reported that a
guy.
third party let them in the house initially.
Right.
Ah.
So there's definitely another guy in there.
Presumably, if he broke in, one of them, and because they showed a picture of the broken glass in the backyard with the glass on the outside, not the inside, which would be very odd.
Yeah.
Because even one longtime criminal investigator said, if this is the way it happened, it would be an anomaly because I've never seen someone breaking glass from outside with the glass staying outside. It would go inside because you're hitting it. You're not pulling it.
It's one of those new suction hammers where you suction on the glass and pull it back
I
and
think
it breaks the glass out.
I think that's David DePape's nickname in the Castro region. The old suction hammer.
That's why well recommended.
That's why Pelosi had to pick him up. So, yeah. So that's where this guy breaks in, and then he gets in a fight with Paul Pelosi, apparently, who right now it's kind of up in the air. I haven't seen whether or not Paul Pelosi got the hammer or the guy had the hammer to attack Paul Pelosi exactly. All I know is they're fighting with the hammer. Then Paul Pelosi takes a bathroom break in the middle of this hammer fight.
No, I think you got the order wrong.
Yeah, you got the order off a little bit.
Okay, so correct me on the order,
though. However this guy came into the house, whether it was invitation or he broke in, at some point Paul Pelosi excused himself, went into the bathroom and made this 911 call where he called this guy a friend, and maybe he's like, best kind of weighing the facts in favor of the mainstream media narrative. Maybe he's just placating a fucking psychopath who breaks in his house. Like, this guy's my friend. And then he said his name. His name is David. Like, okay. It's weird. But, maybe then he called the cops on that conversation where he identified him as his friend and name is David. And one of the reports said he sounded disoriented, which,
makes sense.
It could be because he's afraid. It could be because he's fucked up. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then when the cops came, they said they found them both with their hands on a hammer, like struggling for it. And then Pelosi let go of it. And that's when
he got
Page
whacked.
Started hammering him.
Right.
And
he got him good. I mean, he's in the hospital with like a broken arm, right? And a skull fracture or something like that.
Yeah,
Can we stop with the hammering? Stop with the hammering.
Can you please stop with the goddamn hammering? I mean, it's just, the whole story is just so bizarre. And also, they clearly have security cameras. Like I saw this article that had their house, and there's clearly security cameras all over the place. So I want to see the video now. Did he let him in? Did he break in? If there's cameras all over it, they should have some footage of this guy coming in and whether or not he was let in or broke in for sure.
They'll never show that footage.
No, well, but again, this is leading into the
conspiracy
theories that,
is body camera footage like a matter of public request?
You should be able to request it. Yeah, it should be under FOA.
I'm sure people will request it, and then there will be something wrong with the footage.
Yeah.
It wasn't operational. Yeah.
Well, it'll be Epstein style. Jeffrey Epstein style, every camera that could have shown anything will have been malfunctioning all at the exact same time.
Well, speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of people have said that this David DePape, is it David DePape or Paul DePape?
David DePape.
that he might be getting Jeffrey Epstein here soon, depending on what happens. But I mean, honestly, what I think is going to happen is after the midterms, just nobody will report on this anymore, and it'll just go away, and we'll forget it happened. I think it's. I mean, I don't know if. I don't think this whole thing was intentionally drummed up and schemed as a way for the Democrats to get a mega attack in the headlines.
Yeah. I don't think.
I think they saw it and were able to piece this together and lead with it in the narrative. Well, I don't know what the heck happened, but it's not a mega conservative breaking in to assassinate Nancy Pelosi. Based on all the evidence we've seen, that looks like not what happened at all.
But do you think it would be funny though if any of the most hardcore Democrats would even someone's they watch the Dr. Oz Fetterman debate and they're like, I'm still on the fence, and then they're like, oh, this Paul Pelosi, this is outrageous. I can't vote for a Republican. I mean, are there literally anyone who's like, yeah, that's a January 6th fucking mega guy? Because even the Washington Post, I can't imagine there's even 10 people in the country who are like, oh, this is terrifying, except Liz Cheney. But even the Washington Post reported that, he was known as a longtime leftist. He lived in a commune with a Black Lives Matter flag, gay pride flag. It's two things at least the mainstream media is never associated with MAGA is Black Lives Matter and gay pride.
Gay pride.
So I think even the Washington Post is like, this is not.
Yeah,
it's not just what their AOC's trying to say.
No, it's just one of those things. The guy just went down, posting whatever, making enclaves or not enclaves, making outreach to Donald Trump and begging him to do whatever on his Facebook page. Bringing in the question, he's like, oh, blaming the Jews for everything and black people on his Facebook page. These are just the traits of somebody that is mentally ill, very obviously. Mm-hmm. But I do wonder, you're talking about, okay, is this a setup? It would be funny, though, if the Democrats just we need to get some points here. They just kept sending gay prostitutes that were out of their mind to Paul Pelosi's house. And they're like, God, he just keeps fucking them. This is not working out. They keep coming out smiling. Nobody's hitting him with a hammer.
I completely forgot my one job.
At Paul Pelosi's a charmer. Yeah, I don't know. It's so patently absurd the way they're trying to spin it. But to your point, I think nobody's going to buy into it. And either way, it's like with Rand Paul. The one thing that's look at though, and people are pointing this out, the outrage over this attack compared to what happened with Rand Paul, where there was no outrage. They're like, well, clearly he deserved to be tackled by his neighbor while mowing a lawn. But this. Obviously, because it's a MAGA Republican that had attacked somebody.
It's worse than the Rand Paul attack. It's really the Kavanaugh. The Kavanaugh situation is, I guess, could be the equivalent of what they're claiming, because there was a pro-abortion activist wanting to assassinate Kavanaugh. Mm-hmm. That was 100% politically motivated. Nothing was said about the rhetoric driving him to this. It was just silence, and now it's the rhetoric drove this guy. But
in the Kavanaugh case, I mean, that looked like an FBI setup there, where they basically flew this guy out to Kavanaugh's house, and he had a backpack full of stuff, and he gets there, and he calls his sister, right, and is like, I'm gonna kill Brett Kavanaugh, but I don't want to, and it's like, well, don't.
If anybody wants to stop me, I'm slowly walking to the door. Yeah, it's a little too easy. But yeah, the blaming the rhetoric thing is it's just stupid. But one question I wanted to ask you guys coming out of this is, if you could, who would be the one person you would hammer fight while the two of you are just in underpants? Who'd be the one person that you'd pick to fight?
Sean Clifford.
Penn State's dynamite 18th season quarterback Sean Clifford. Noted bum. Yeah, he's awful. I don't know. You might lose, though. He's a big guy.
Oh, I would definitely lose. That's why I need a hammer.
He's a big guy.
He's like 6'4", 230. He's NFL. He's NFL size, not
prototypical NFL size. Yeah, he's awful.
No Drew
Odie, how
Aller.
about you?
I wouldn't fight Drew Adler with a hammer. No, definitely wouldn't do that.
No, definitely.
I don't know. How do you prepare for this type of question?
That's why I didn't want to let you prepare. I want to catch you off guard, get an honest answer. Rico had one right out of the bat.
Of course he did.
No delay.
I've been thinking about this even before, like for years. I'm like, finally, someone asked me the right question.
I don't know.
I'll give you one. You could think for another 30 seconds. I'll give you mine.
Isn't this what, like the Super Mario Brothers when you had to face Bowser? Wasn't it a dragon with like spitting hammers?
There's there's the Hammer Brothers that are like little guys that are wearing what looks like to be special needs helmets that throw hammers at you.
Yeah, but like one of the
how great would it be if the guy showed up wearing a bike helmet? He would look like a Hammer Brother. All right, I've decided I would, if I had my druthers, I would fight Brian Stelter. I think that would be an enjoyable fight for me. It would be hilarious to see him squealing, running around in his underpants as I chased him.
You lose that fight, though. You don't know what he's going to do to you with that hammer. So that's
that is true. All right, do you come up with a good answer for us?
No.
Come on, man. There's nobody out there you dislike enough or just you think would be an easy win. What's an easy one to put in the win column?
Any Eagles fan after yesterday, Odie. Just say that.
I'll go with the Steelers offensive coordinator, Matt Canada.
There you go.
All right. Fair enough. Again, not know if you're going to win that fight, though. All right. Moving on. Alice, is anything else you want to add on this topic?
I just don't understand how people look at this story and don't question it at all. Huh? Wait, how did someone get into the speaker? That's like saying it's like she's third in line. So would people just believe it if someone broke into Kamala Harris's house and hit her with a hammer? People wouldn't think, wait, how the fuck did they get in the house?
Right.
You can just break a window and you're in? That doesn't seem right. There's no way they just got into their house.
Well, does Paul Pelosi have Secret Service protection?
I don't know about that, but you'd think, given the rhetoric and how many people dislike Nancy Pelosi, there would be a strong security contingent there.
Yeah, 100%.
So to think, regardless of anything else, you have to think there has to be a lot of security at that house. There has to be gated cameras.
It's oddly enough the house is on the street. Yeah, the house is on the street, so it's like I thought it'd be behind a big gate, but it's in obviously a fancy part of town.
Be a gated community,
right? Yeah, that's what I would think. But yeah, to your point, I know if I was Pelosi, I would have security for sure.
Yes,
even if somebody wasn't appointed, I would just have somebody there all the time. Yeah,
is it just it's got to be a gated community at the very least, right? You're not just going from downtown San Francisco to their abode, and you're like, I'm getting off the 7 bus.
It's on the star maps
right here, and walking in. No fucking way. There's definitely guards there, as rich as they are, and how much So you'd think at the very least there's gatehouses, there's patrolling security. That's some random dude in underwear can't just get into the third in line for the president house on a whim.
Right. Was he did he show up in underwear, or did he strip when he got in the house? That's an important question.
That would be even weirder. Hey, I'm a burglar. I just broke in, and Paul Pelosi's like, "What the fuck's going on?" He's like, "Hold on a minute." Rips off his clothes.
Does the sexy little dance for him. Yeah, Paul Pelosi's like, "All right, I'm not going to call 911 yet. Let's see where this goes."
Yeah, interesting.
The truth is, guys, this is another January 6th, another insurrection. And
this is clearly hammer-wielding underpants nutballs are the greatest threat to democracy. It is now surpassed anything.
There was a story I saw, and it was, I'm sure it's fucking nonsense, dude, that he had zip ties. Where? In his underwear? He had zip ties in his underwear because he's wearing underwear. So do you have them around his dick? Where did he have these zip ties?
That's called a homeless cock ring. That's how those work.
They just say shit, and you're just like, oh, wow. That's
okay,
terrifying.
Makes sense.
I'm not going to question anything because if you do, you're QAnon.
Maybe he had those sheath underwear, but he didn't, use the sheath part, and that's what the zip ties were.
That's where he kisses. Yeah, instead of my balls, I keep zip ties in this.
All right, next topic. I wanted to talk about this because obviously Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Hilarious, the reactions from people on the left. So we can talk a little bit about that. But also, I saw this, like, Twitter is going to start verifying or charging, at least they're throwing this concept around, $20 a month for users to keep their blue check mark or to get verified. Like, you just pay and you're verified now instead of the way they used to do it, which is who the fuck knows how anybody gets verified. You know, it's like very selective, very, very playing favorites. Mm-hmm. And you would think that, number one, that Elon Musk had gone up and slapped all of these lefties' grandmothers in the face from the reactions, especially like journalists whining about how will they know? You're going to make me pay to be verified? It's like the New York Times can't pay $20 a month to give you a blue check mark on Twitter. Like, get the fuck out of here. Losing their minds about it. And then also just the fact that I think they're mad because now anybody can be verified, so they lost their status. So what do you guys think about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, I don't know if in the end it'll be $20 a month or if we'll even do it, but you had a good tweet on this, Brian, but basically saying that obviously there's value in being verified. So if there's value in it, then people would pay for it. So, I mean, what's the market price of paying for it, you know, along with other factors. And you would think on a platform like Twitter, where it's the town square where everyone goes to talk and share opinions, that the more people that you have who have their actual name attached to their account,
right?
The more authentic, maybe not probably authentic or trustworthy conversations you'll have, and you probably less bots in the following, and I don't know, it would probably make for a better platform.
I think that the interesting part to me is the people that are saying, well, I'm off Twitter. Well, where are you going to go? Because all the alternative, one, they're very small compared to what Twitter is. And two, they're all, at least as far as I know, they're right wing. You're going to go to Trump Social? There you go. That'll be funny. You going to go to Parler? I don't think so.
Well, there's Tribe Social, which kicks off conservatives. For anything. So you go there.
Their problem there is, like, regular people are not going to switch platforms because, and this is what fucked conservatives before, is if they got booted off Twitter, people are like, well, come follow me on Rumble or Parler or whatever. And people are just like, well, there's too much other content they want on Twitter. If you want to follow like sports or just whatever, you're not just going to switch because of one person's off Twitter. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the same thing for the people that lefties go after. Like, they're kind of fucked because they're not going to be able to get a platform with the same audience. It'll take too long to build up, and people are not going to switch because of your plight. So they're going to have to just kind of suck it up right now. And so I hope he does charge. It would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like I said, Odie, I tweeted about it saying, like, look, man, it's getting the verification on there, it's like, whatever. You pay to get a trademark. You pay to get a lot of the services in life and verify that you are who you are, that your company exists, that you're putting out a product. This is no different, man. I think it's a great idea. And Elon Musk is trying to make Twitter into an actual profitable company. Twitter's not that profitable because the ads on it, people don't really partake in. There's not a lot of ways to monetize it. So here's an easy way to monetize it. I think it's a brilliant idea.
It is, yeah. It honestly, a brilliant idea. And I don't know if he'll do it or not, and I don't know if that's the right price point. Maybe it should be a lot lower, or maybe you should be able to buy a lifetime verification for, I don't know, $500 or something, or $1,000. But I think there's something there. For sure.
Well, he also is talking about, TikTok had replaced essentially Vine. Like, do you remember Vine? Vine came up and was kind of like the first TikTok. And then it got, I believe, I can't remember if Twitter created Vine or if it was like the same CEO created Vine or not. But Elon Musk tweeted out, should I bring back Vine? Which makes me think that somehow Twitter owns the intellectual property that is Vine. So I was like, do it, man. Because, look, TikTok, people are on it, but there is all this objection to it because of China, because of this, like, the weird censorship stuff they do. Mm-hmm. Why not? If everybody's already on Twitter and you have this other option to bring back Vine or incorporate Vine into the Twitter feed, do it. Again, another way to monetize it. And then you have an alternative, at least, for TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, right now, I guess Instagram is TikTok alternative, sort of, but it's not the same. Just a
and
lot of people
Facebook's
really take their TikToks and repost them on Instagram.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I know that's all I do, and it's funny though because Meta's also bleeding money out the ass. Like, did you see the article about Mark Zuckerberg losing like more money than anybody in the history of the world over the past year or something?
Well, he stopped. I mean, he has this massive user base, and he stopped doing anything to make it better. Like,
yeah.
Facebook could be good, like the messaging platform, all this stuff could like actually work, and they could do like cool stuff with it. But you don't. I mean, if you have a business on there, you get zero reach unless you're paying for
unless
it.
You pay
paying
enormous
to advertise.
amount of money.
There's already too many freaking ads on it anyway. I mean, every third thing is an ad.
Yep.
So yeah, he's ruined his own platform, and he's dumped all his profits into virtual reality, which people really don't want virtual reality that way. I'm not saying like someday there's not going to be some sort of virtual reality interface, but the way that he has it set up, I don't think people want anything to do with it.
Until we could get a virtual reality interface where people, and this is when Lions of Liberty will actually get into it, when you can feel the sensation of sitting on my lap as I'm podcasting. That's when we'll throw our lot in. You can feel the vibrations of my loins as I do the show. But yeah, dude, I agree. Like, why is my camera not focused? Yeah, VR is not there yet. You need to have a truly immersive experience with all that. And they're getting there with like the bells and the whistles and the gloves and the boots and all this other shit, but it's still not there. And otherwise, like, yeah, it was not only like the ads bad, the business bad, the reach is bad, but also like everything with the algorithms they did, everything with the censorship that they were doing, adding all these warnings on there, adding all of these fact checks, which are just opinion from leftist horseshit. I just think he's already ostracizing the older people that use Facebook, because young people don't use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
It's only old people, and like, at best you've got some millennials on there. And because of all the censorship, all the old people, 50% of the old people aren't using it anymore. So who is left to even go on Facebook for any reason?
You guys still use it?
Only to post once in I use it for Lions of Liberty, and I'll post a random photo here and there. I use it as a birthday calendar. That's more or less why I go on Facebook. Let's check whose birthday it is.
And honestly, he could use that better. I mean, he could make that more prominent, easier to wish people a happy birthday. But yeah, he does nothing to improve the app. Just fucking sits there.
No, it's all downhill. But yeah, Rico, do you have any other thoughts on Twitter and Musk taking over?
I appreciate the daily meltdowns. I don't think it's going to be what right-wing people want it to be. I don't think he's going to go that far. Although I really do hope that those assholes that he fired do not get their golden parachute, because that's kind of seems to be what he's going for, is to not pay them. And awesome. The argument that he'll pay them is, well, he couldn't prove it in Delaware Chancellor. I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it. Chancellor Court, whatever is like. It's like Elon Musk being in municipal court. That's because that's somehow where they're incorporated, and that's where, and it's very a democratic enclave. He's like, well, he couldn't back out of the deal because of bots in that court, so obviously there's no evidence. Like, well, he owns the company now, so he's going to be able to get through all these lines of code or these emails or whatever. And if there's bad action, which for them to sue, it'll take quite a while for them to get their payout, he'll have a lot of time to find out evidence of malfeasance. So I really hope those fuckers don't get anything. They probably will.
I'm with
because leftists never have to pay any consequences, but I sure
probably end up settling, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get anything close to what was supposed to be like 40 million.
To 60, 20 to 60, I read.
That's insane.
Ridiculous for being assholes.
Yep. All right. Next topic, I wanted to run this by you because I don't know if you guys saw, I tweeted about this, but they, as you know, the FBI has Seth Rich's laptop, which, interestingly enough, you say if this was simply a murder, as they are still claiming to this day that Seth Rich was not murdered by for any specific reason by any specific actor like the Clintons, well, then why are they holding onto his laptop? If he was just robbed in the street, why does the FBI have his laptop? Why is it still in their possession? Why won't they release what's on it? And most recently, because the court, if you'll recall, had said to the FBI, you need to release what's on the laptop. If you've got it, it's public information, you have to release it. They now asked the court for 66 years to produce the information. 66 years. Do you guys think that is a little more telling as far as what we might find on Seth Rich's laptop?
Wow. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's insanity. So that wasn't ruled on yet, was it? On the 66 years, or
no?
Was just their request.
Basically, they're arguing that they've been arguing forever that privacy interest is why they didn't have to share this information. But that got overturned, and a court ruled they had to share the information under Freedom of Information Act. Now they're saying, let's see here. I got to scroll through this. The FBI, in the new filing, government lawyers said the FBI never extracted the data from the laptop, which it revealed as originating with a law enforcement agency. They said the information is on a compact disc containing information, yada, yada, yada. To produce the information, we'd have to convert information on the disc into pages and then review the pages to redact information. And apparently,
how do they know they have to redact information?
Well, exactly. And also, that takes 66 years? Where is this fucking number coming from?
How much information is on that laptop? 66 years worth of. What?
It seems like it's going to drag out like the JFK thing so JFK was assassinated, in like 60?
Oh, God. Yeah.
I don't remember. It was a long. Obviously, it was, the 50th anniversary. Was it whatever it was when Trump was in office? I think it was like 66. I don't know. Whatever. And then by the time all that information got released, everyone's like, well, of course the CIA was on it, right? And they're like, duh. Like, so by the time that they release this in 50 years, everyone will be like, well, of course Seth Rich gave the information to WikiLeaks. Like, obviously. And that's
most people are like that now, though.
Hillary Clinton did a whole Gutsy episode on it.
But I think like half the country, most people aren't even aware of it, I would say. It's a very small segment of the population even aware who Seth Rich is. I would say it's probably like 1 or 2% of people. If you ask,
I think that's what the FBI is trying to keep.
Yeah, if you ask 100 neighbors, they'd be like, "Who the fuck is Seth Rich?" But as people, as time goes by, probably more and more people hear about it. Like the Hunter Biden thing. Like, last 2 years ago, people were like, well, "Hunter Biden laptop? What are you talking about? I've never heard anything about this." Now everyone knows. Oh, Hunter Biden's laptop. He's a fucking creep. It's going to be the same thing with Seth. More and more people will hear it and are like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, obviously the Russians couldn't download that over Wi-Fi by hacking his computer. That makes no sense. So, yeah, of course Seth Rich did a little thumb drive. But, by the time it matters, the Clintons will hopefully be long dead. So
we'll see. I don't know if there's one group of people I think that's already got some sort of remember that movie The Island where they just have clones of people that they keep they pretend to let them live their lives and then they murder them and steal their organs to put in the regular people. That would be something the Clintons probably have going on right now. That's why the Epstein Island is still in existence.
You know what's interesting? I was thinking about the Clintons the other day when Hillary was on talking about how Republicans already have plans to steal the 2024 election, even though our
How does she know this?
Secure.
How does she know about these plans?
They're so secure, yet they're not secure enough to prevent a political party from stealing it in 2 years, huh?
Yeah.
But anyway,
how about the election in Brazil that just happened with Bolsonaro losing to last name Lula, Lulu, whatever. The previous president of Brazil, who was in prison for corruption.
Right.
And Bolsonaro got, I think, something like 10% more votes than he did when he won previously and lost. And they're saying like a lot of these votes came from like the most corrupt, like gang affiliated parts of Brazil in opposition to Bolsonaro. And Joe Biden didn't send it out. Somebody on Joe Biden's behalf put it out, tweeted it out that I'd like to congratulate Lulu on winning in Brazil. And this is obviously a fair and secure election that was run there, and the results should not be disputed. It's like, how do you know that? Like, how can you come out today and say that? You know nothing about what they're doing in Brazil. That's just absurd.
Right. Well, it's also, if you have to come out and say that it's the most secure election and the results shouldn't be questioned, well, all that makes me want to do is question the results. Like, you saying that, you're protesting too much, man. You know, like, exactly. If you're that secure, then you don't have to worry about it. Just say congratulations on the win. Good job, buddy. You know? But yeah, I also wonder, like, if there's a ton of corruption, I would 100% believe it there, considering he was in jail for corruption. But it also just is so stupid to me. And not that Bolsonaro was a great president, but that they're bringing in another fucking leftist when we know it. And it's apparently somebody was saying that it's because the election's all about food and jobs. And I'm like, so you bring in a leftist to cure food and job problems? Do you look at what's happening in Venezuela? Do you look anywhere else in the world and see what happens with food and jobs when leftists are in control of them? These people are going to be starving and they're going to be out of work in about 3 weeks.
It's democracy.
The crazy thing that I read, Biden was talking about, or I don't know if Biden or some other top Democrats were talking about nationalizing the oil industry in the U.S.
Oh, that's again like, worked out great for Venezuela.
Fucking shit. It's just like doubling down, or it's like quadrupling down on the dumbest possible policies, and like the country's gonna implode under this fucking insanity. Like, you're going to nationalize the oil industry because you're so fucking stupid you won't allow drilling?
Right. And talk like that. And because they know all the regulatory, all this talk about killing off the industry, there's no incentive to make it better, to reinvest in it, to give our oil industry another shot. And now if they're talking about nationalizing it, all the oil companies are going to go, well, maybe we shouldn't reinvest another year. Let's see what shakes out. Which, of course, will drive the Democrats insane, because then they'll say that they're making windfall profits because they're not reinvesting the money back into the company, which is usually what takes profits down.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's why you're seeing these oil profits so high, is because there's so much uncertainty in the economy. Why would any oil company invest now in more drilling, not knowing what the hell's going to happen? If Joe Biden or someone else is going to win again, I mean, then you have your pipeline shut down, and you'll have all that sunk cost. Biden is, I mean, there's never been a president that I can remember that has come out and basically is blaming the inflation that's happening, is blaming the economic downturn on oil companies, like fully. He's fully blaming them, their CEOs, he's people who work for them. It's completely out of control. And a scary thing that I just was reading about this earlier today with diesel. So there's a massive diesel shortage in this country right now.
25 days.
Where, there's like 25 days worth of buffer, and it's like dropping by the day. It keeps getting smaller and smaller. And if we run out of diesel, or as we get closer and closer to it, the price keep going up and up, and everything will get more and more expensive. Everything runs on diesel. We'll be totally screwed. I mean, our economy will collapse.
All the trucking will completely collapse on itself. You'll completely empty store shelves. Yeah, boats won't be able to go. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's an easily avoidable.
The dumbest collection of people. If you look at who you see on TV, Biden, just fucking. I don't think he was ever sharp or ever really even of average intelligence. If you look at his old speeches from the 80s, he's just fucking political hack. But he is dementia below average intelligence now. Karine Jean-Pierre, by far the dumbest fucking spokesman ever. At least the red-haired girl.
Yeah, she was clever.
She was
at least
smart.
She was mean,
clearly
but smart.
A liar. But at least she could fucking have a back and forth repartee. This new one is so goddamn dumb. They asked John Kirby about what Odie was saying. I don't know what the difference is. He's the press secretary, maybe, or the spokesman. I don't know, one of the two. And they're like, "Oh, what about this diesel problem?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not aware of that. I'll have to look into it." You're not aware of it? There's 20 days left, you fucking buffoon. Then you got
his answer was, "Yeah, I'm not aware of it. But what we're doing, I'll tell you what we are doing, is to help out in Europe, we're sending a lot of natural gas over to Europe. We've actually doubled how much we've committed to send there." It's like, well, what the we're just going to start here now?
Freeze here? It worse.
Yep.
It's making the problem you're not aware of worse. So kudos on that. And you got Anthony Blinken. Holy fuck is that guy? He's like, yeah, well, we're just never going to talk to the Russians. Why would we need to talk to a country the largest? I think they have more stockpile of nukes than we do.
I think they do too. Yeah.
Why would we ever need to talk to that country when we're just in a war with them? I mean, you can just go down the fucking list of how not just I disagree with them. They are just so dumb. And they're the ones, I mean, there's got to be a power struggle who's actually controlling Biden at this point, like behind the scenes, right? Like who's
Obama? It's Obama and Susan
Rice. I would think so
100%.
too. Yeah. But I don't, you know what? I would think Obama is not an idiot. Like you can blame him for a lot of policies you don't like. He is not a stupid guy. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't think he would like to see the world in a nuclear hell. Like that would seem like he's living a good life. And his life is not going to be as fun in some underground bunker. So
I don't know. We don't know what kind of bunkers these people have. These lizard people have bunkers that are probably, space age technology, walls made of crystal goblets, gay prostitutes, whatever you want them. Every stall's a glory
underwear
hole.
hammer fights.
Children that are just ripe with adrenochrome dripping from their ears. I mean, everything you want in an underground bunker, I'm sure they've got it. But yeah, to your point, you do wonder what's going on because without a doubt, Biden's not handling shit. So how are the people handling Biden so unbelievably bad at everything they're doing? And it's
I think there's also a very big element of ego with Biden. Like I think he has a tremendously huge ego, which you would expect from anyone who's been in politics that long, who actually ran for president. And he probably has lucid moments like, fuck that. I'm the president. I do what I want. It's a great Biden impersonation, by the way.
It's wonderful. He sounded exactly like a southern oil magnet. Yeah.
I don't know what I was trying to do. But he definitely has
I'll say I'm Joe Biden.
Yosemite Biden. It's definitely like periods where he's like, fuck you, I'm doing what I want. Yeah. He's like a little Cartman. And I think that's what he's doing.
And that's when he smells the kids. That's when you can see Joe Biden's lucid moments, when he starts smelling kids again. He's like, I'm back, baby.
Like when he says he's running for president, that's Biden's ego talking. That's everyone behind the scenes got to be like, no, he's not running.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm not.
Yeah, they might not, like, we think like, oh yeah, they're pulling the strings, like he's not in control, like in that way, but he could give the Democrats a really hard time with just like saying, no, I'm running for president, fuck you, I'm gonna run for 4 more years.
Yeah, it'd be funny if he gets no support but still runs, and he's just wandering around neighborhoods, going door to door, just knocking on people's doors, wandering malls, just going, vote for me. All right, I know we got to wrap it up here, Odie. I know you got a hard out. So, a last question: what is your kid going as for Halloween tonight, Odie? And Rico, is Jordan even going out? Is he even trick or treating anymore?
He was kind of saying like he doesn't think he's going to go today. If he is, he's not really dressing up. So he's one of those.
No, I wouldn't give that little bastard any candy showing up not dressed up.
I said I wouldn't fucking give you any candy, but whatever.
She's going as Rapunzel.
Ah, nice.
Classic costume.
Yeah, my kid's going as Elsa, so similar look.
Nice.
It's funny. I'll tell you a quick story. My kid's last night, she's like, I'm the Elsa. She starts singing that "Let It Go," but somehow just in the middle of it, she's like, puts in a lyric, and I don't think it exists in the movie, but it's something about having to know where oceans come from. And I'm not sure if it means she's a genius or an idiot. So we'll find out. We'll find out. Fingers crossed.
Especially in Biden's next speech. When he's talking about 54 states and where the oceans come from.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, yeah, I tweeted about that. The thing that people don't realize, though, is Joe Biden is also counting the new states of Donbass, Crimea, Eastern Ukraine, and Western Ukraine. So that's bringing us to 54.
Perfect. Well, how long until they say they should have a voice? Ukraine should have a voice in our democracy.
Oh, I think
it can't be that far. Like the most insane things you would have thought of 5 years ago. You're like, that's insane. It's like it's here. So what's to stop that?
No, nothing, man. All right, that's going to wrap the show, guys. Thank you all. Thank you to Odie. Thank you to our legal counsel, Rico. Guys, our Rico counsel. He only counsels on Rico affairs. The what is that? The criminal. What does Rico stand
racketeering.
for? Racketeering.
I always,
that's it.
yeah. There's some acronym I never remember. It's basically organized crime, racketeering.
Yeah, there you go. So awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us. And a reminder, guys, go join the Lions of Liberty Patreon, patreon.com/Lions of Liberty, where you can hear the three of us breaking down our gambling picks and stories of debauchery from the weekend. Of course, the new Do Nothing Man is out. It published. It's there. The new superhero installment, Do Nothing Man versus the Hidden Lobby, only on patreon.com/Lions of Liberty or lionsofliberty.locals. All right, that's it. Peace out, goobers. Happy Halloween, everybody.